Welcome to my channel, Value Old Coins. Today videos is one you won't to miss. We're diving into the world of coins, so let's get it started. The 1984 Washington Quarter is a United States 25-cent coin struck at the height of the Cold War era, under the presidency of Ronald Reagan. It is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin is made primarily for circulation and continues the traditional design first introduced during the Great Depression. On the obverse front of the coin, you'll see the stately profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States, facing left. This design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, whose initials JF can be subtly seen at the base of Washington's neck. Surrounding the portrait are the Liberty positioned at the top of the coin, "In God We Trust," inscribed to the lower left of Washington's bust, and the year of mintage, 1984, placed prominently at the bottom. There is no mint mark if it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, while a D or S below the wreath indicates the Denver or San Francisco Mint, respectively. The majority of 1984 quarters were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. San Francisco-produced coins in 1984 were proof coins, specially minted for collectors using polished dies and planchets. On the reverse back, the design showcases a powerful image of a bald eagle with outstretched wings, clutching a bundle of arrows in its talons, symbolizing strength and military preparedness. Below the eagle is an olive branch which represents peace. This reverse design emphasizes the dual nature of American values, military strength coupled with a desire for peace. The inscriptions read, "United States of America" at the top edge, the Latin motto, "A pluribus unum," meaning out of many, one, just above the eagle, $quarter along the bottom edge. Specifications of the 1984 Washington Quarter include composition: copper-nickel clad, 75% copper, 25% nickel over a pure copper core. Weight: 5.67 grams, diameter 24.3 mm, edge, reeded, 119 reeds. Designer John Flanagan, obverse and reverse. Mintage, Philadelphia, no mint mark. 676.5 million coins. Denver, D mint mark. 546.6 million coins. San Francisco proof, S. 3.1 million coins. The historical context of the coin is significant. In 1984, the U.S. economy was rebounding strongly from a deep recession, inflation was dropping, and consumer confidence was returning. This economic momentum was part of what later became known as the Reagan boom. As a result, coin production was high to meet demand. While billions of quarters were minted, few people saved them in uncirculated condition due to their everyday use, making high-grade uncirculated examples, MS-65 or higher, moderately desirable among collectors today. The value of a 1984 Washington Quarter in circulated condition remains at or near face value, 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples, especially those with sharp strikes, no wear, and full mint luster, can be worth around $2 to $10. Quarters in proof condition from San Francisco, which feature mirror-like fields and frosted designs, are worth a bit more, typically around $3 to $6, depending on the quality and presence of any special features like cameo contrast. Varieties and errors from this year are also of interest to numismatists. One notable example is the 1984 D doubled ear variety, where doubling can be seen around Washington's ear due to a die error. These are relatively rare and can command $100 or more, depending on the condition. Other errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, or clipped planchets also exist and are collectible, each evaluated individually for rarity and visual appeal. In conclusion, the 1984 Washington Quarter is a symbol of America's enduring principles, carrying historic and economic weight. While most examples are common, collectors seek high-grade versions and errors that can raise the coin's value significantly. Whether tucked in a change jar or showcased in a numismatic album, the 1984 quarter remains a small yet tangible link to the American story. The 1986 Washington Quarter is part of a long-standing series that began in 1932 to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States. By the mid-1980s, the Washington Quarter had become one of the most circulated and recognized coins in American commerce. The 1986 issue is no exception. It reflects the economic and political climate of the United States during the Reagan era, a time marked by conservative revival, booming defense spending, and expanding global influence. Though minted primarily for everyday transactions, the 1986 quarter carries a deeper historical and symbolic value for collectors and historians alike. On the obverse, front of the coin, the dominant feature is the left-facing portrait of George Washington, a design originally sculpted by John Flanagan in 1931, based on a 1785 bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon. Washington's face is stoic and dignified, symbolizing leadership and the ideals of the Republic. Above his head, the word liberty is prominently inscribed in bold capital letters, an ever-present reminder of the nation's founding principles. To the left, in smaller font, is "In God We Trust," a motto first used on U.S. coins during the Civil War, emphasizing America's religious heritage and national identity. The date 1986 is centered at the bottom of the coin, indicating the year of issue. If the coin was minted in Philadelphia, it will have no mint mark. If struck at Denver, a small D appears to the right of Washington's ponytail. And if from San Francisco, it will show an S, signifying a proof coin. Turning to the reverse, back, the coin features a majestic bald eagle, America's national bird, with outstretched wings. The eagle clutches a bundle of arrows, symbolizing military preparedness and strength, while an olive branch lies below, representing peace. The eagle is centered and framed by United States of America, curves along the upper edge of the coin, while just below that, the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, out of many one, reminds users of the union of the original colonies into one nation. The denomination quarter dollar is engraved in large letters at the bottom of the reverse side. Technical specifications of the 1986 Washington quarter include composition: a clad composition with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core of pure copper. Weight, 5.67 grams. Diameter, 24.3 millimeters. Edge, reeded with 119 reeds. Designer, John Flanagan. Type, business strike for circulation, and proof strike for collectors. Mintage and production numbers for 1986 are relatively high, reflecting the coin's wide use in commerce. Philadelphia. Mint, no mint mark. 199,000 coins struck. Denver Mint, D mint mark. 298,000 coins struck. San Francisco Mint, S proof. 497 proof coins struck for collectors. Because billions of quarters were already in circulation by 1986 and the design had remained mostly unchanged for over 5 decades, the average person often overlooked these coins. However, for numismatists, variations, mint state grades, and strike quality can make a difference in value and collectability. In circulated condition, 1986 quarters are usually only worth face value, 25 cents. However, in uncirculated condition, graded MS65 or higher, these coins can be worth between $2 and $10 depending on luster, strike, and surface preservation. A coin with no scratches, full original mint luster, and a sharp strike is more desirable. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, especially those with deep cameo contrast, frosted devices, and mirror-like fields, typically retail for $3 to $6, though flawless specimens may sell for more in the collector market. Error coins from 1986 are also notable. While no major error is commonly associated with this year, minting mistakes such as off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or die cracks can still occur and are highly collectible. Prices for error quarters can range from $20 to several $100s, depending on the rarity and visibility of the mistake. The historical backdrop of 1986 adds cultural significance to the coin. This was a year of international diplomacy and technological advancement in the U.S., marked by events like the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster and the signing of the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. Domestically, President Reagan was in his second term, overseeing a mixture of economic growth and geopolitical tension. In summary, while the 1986 Washington Quarter may be common in terms of mintage and composition, it carries weight as a piece of U.S. monetary and cultural history. For most people, it's a coin passed casually in daily transactions. But for collectors and enthusiasts, its value lies in uncirculated specimens, mint varieties, and the stories it represents about American ideals, design evolution, and a changing world during the 1980s. The 1990 Washington Quarter is a widely circulated U.S. coin that belongs to the iconic Washington Quarter series, which had been in continuous production since 1932. This quarter represents not only a staple in everyday commerce, but also a piece of numismatic and national heritage, bridging the gap between classic design and modern minting. Though 1990 may not be considered a key date in the series, the coin reflects the artistic, historical, and economic landscape of late 20th century America, and even common examples hold educational and collectible interest. Obverse. Front design, the face of liberty. The obverse side of the 1990 quarter features the stoic, left-facing profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This familiar design by John Flanagan is based on a 1785 bust sculpted by the neoclassical French artist Jean-Antoine Houdon. Washington's strong features and calm expression symbolize national unity, leadership, and strength. Above his portrait is the bold inscription Liberty, representing one of the core values on which the United States was founded. To the left of Washington's neck is the national motto, "In God We Trust," reflecting the country's religious and philosophical traditions, first seen on U.S. coins during the Civil War and made mandatory in the 1950s. Beneath the bust, centered at the bottom, is the year 1990, denoting the coin's minting year. The mint mark, if present, is found just to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon. Coins minted in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, coins from the Denver Mint carry a D, and San Francisco proof coins are marked with an S. These letters not only indicate the origin of the coin, but help collectors identify different varieties and evaluate their relative rarity and value. Reverse back design, the American bald eagle. The reverse side maintains the classic design used since 1932. It features the powerful image of a heraldic bald eagle, wings spread in mid-flight. The eagle is perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing military preparedness and strength, while nestled beneath it is an olive branch, representing peace. Together, these elements reflect the United States' dual commitment to strength and diplomacy. At the top is the full country name, United States of America, arched boldly across the coin. Below that, in smaller capital letters, is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one, a nod to the unity of the original 13 colonies forming one nation. At the bottom of the reverse is the coin's denomination, quarter dollar. This reverse design was also sculpted by John Flanagan and remained unchanged until the introduction of the 50-state quarters program in 1999. Physical. Characteristics and technical specification details, composition copper, nickel-clad, 75% copper, 25% nickel over pure copper, core diameter 24, 3 mm 0.955 inches, Thickness 175 mm, weight 5 by 7 grams, edge reeded 119 reeds, designer John Flanagan, both obverse and reverse, mint marks. None, Philadelphia, D, Denver, S, San Francisco proof, mintage figures and distribution in 1990, all three primary U. S mints were actively producing quarters but in varying quantities. Philadelphia mint, no mint mark, 613,792,000 coins. Denver mint, D, 927,638,181 coins. San Francisco mint, S proof, 3,299,559 coins. These high mintage numbers, especially from the Denver Mint, reflect a period of strong economic activity in the U.S. and the continued demand for coins in circulation. With a total mintage of over 1.5 billion, the 1990 quarter is far from rare in circulated condition. Collectability, value, and grades. In most cases, 1990 quarters found in pocket change today are only worth their face value of 25 cents, especially in circulated, worn condition. However, coin collectors place higher value on uncirculated examples, those that have never been used in commerce, and proof coins, which are minted with special care for collectors. Uncirculated, mint state examples. Coins graded MS-63 to MS-65 with full original luster can range in value from $1 to $8, depending on strike sharpness and eye appeal. High-grade MS-67 Plus, a 1990D or 1990P quarter-graded MS-67 or higher, can command prices of $100 to $300 or more, especially if certified by PCGS or NGC with high-grade population rarity. Proof coins, 1990S. These coins were sold in proof sets to collectors and feature mirrored fields and frosted devices. Typical values are $2 to $5, while Deep Cameo DCAM proofs can reach $10 to $20 or more, depending on grade. Known errors and varieties. Although no major variety is widely recognized from 1990 quarters, collectors still seek error coins from this year. Common types of mint errors include off-center strikes, double dies, especially on the obverse, clipped planchets, die cracks or Cuds broad-struck coins without a proper rim. Depending on severity and eye appeal, error coins can range from $20 to several $100s. A major dramatic error, such as a 50% off-center strike, can be particularly desirable among collectors. Historical and cultural context of 1990. The year 1990 was a transitional period in global history. The Cold War was ending, the Berlin Wall had recently fallen, and the Soviet Union was on the brink of collapse. Domestically, the U.S. economy was experiencing shifts under President George H.W. Bush, who had succeeded Reagan in 1989. These coins, though minted in silence, were exchanged during a time of major global realignment and social change in America. In terms of numismatics, the coin marked one of the final issues of the original Washington quarter design before the massive overhaul introduced by the State Quarters program in 1999. Thus, the 1990 quarter stands near the end of an era, making it more historically significant within the series. Conclusion. While not rare, the 1990 Washington quarter holds importance as a widely circulated symbol of American currency, liberty, and history. It was struck in huge numbers for daily use, but within those billions are higher-grade coins, proof issues, and errors that add value for collectors. More than its face value, this coin offers a snapshot of American design, economic history, and patriotism, forever etched in copper and nickel. Whether in a collector's album, a pocket, or passed hand-to-hand, the 1990 quarter continues to fulfill its purpose as both money and a piece of American identity.